Hi, DAVIII, and today we have a new episode in the art process series. Maybe I'll put this under the membership. I'm not sure. Essentially, I want to do a demo of the. It's not just because of me, because XPPEN did request a demo, and I want to make a dedicated sort of demo using the XPPEN Deco Pro MW tablet. And yeah, so right now I'm using these experimental brushes. I talked about these working on these the last art podcast episode. Yeah, so maybe I'll put this under the membership, and then I'll do a time lapse of this and add that to, say, the product review series, so it goes along with the actual product reviews of the actual tablet. Yeah, I was actually trying to think of what to draw or what to paint, but nothing was coming to mind, so I was like, fuck it, let's just do something. And oftentimes that's what you need, that you just have to sort of jump in and do the thing. Or you know what, should I put this under the membership? Maybe I'm already doing a good job, or maybe this is a demo, I guess. It doesn't have to be like time lapsed, although the standard is, because I've watched some people do their demos and stuff, and they do it mostly in time lapse though. I'm not sure if I should do the same. I do like the way these brushes look though. I feel like I'm gassing myself here, obviously because I made it, so I'm very, very biased here. But it really depends on the shape you make the brush from. And you do have, again, I mentioned this, trial and error, guys. It's hard to really plan things out from the beginning. You just sort of have to jump in and see what happens. Now, this one does have like a really dry look. Maybe that's why I called it dry or oil dry. Right? And when you make these types of brushes, I'll be doing a tutorial of I'll put that under the art process series as well. But people have been asking, like, how do I make these brushes? And I did mention a video I found on Twitter before. I tried to find it, but I think the guy deleted it. Perhaps it was a response video, so it wasn't meant to be like a long-lasting sort of media. So I'll try to do a more detailed thing or tutorial on how to make these brushes. For example, I'll just mention it in the should I do it in grayscale? Yeah. Talking about this painting, by the way, because I feel like grayscale is kind of boring and it doesn't inspire me as much. So let's just add a bit of red here. Alright, just to look at, oh shit. I'm really trying to find something here. It helps if I have reference, but I can always, I'm not really sure, like, should I start a painting with reference in mind, or should I sort of just let the painting happen on its own, and then if I need something, then I'll use reference. Because if I wait to find the right reference, I feel like it's gonna take forever. So it's better to just let my subconscious, maybe it's better to let that side sort of take over. And then when I need something, then I'll search for that thing. What is this thing? You know, I feel like I'm going to draw an Ava sort of head. It's always my go-to thing. Let me just bring this down a little bit. Yeah, you know what? I'll make this public just because I don't have to do it like how other people do it. I can do it the way I do it. So this shit is gonna be in real time. Now I'm not sure if I should put this in the art process series because I can call this like demo. Because I was thinking of doing like an overview of say the actual product and then attaching a demo video in the end. So I did think of that. But also I could also just be more raw with it. Look at how cool this looks. By the way, I have been seeing your comments. You know, the last the last video I did was the art podcast. A video. It was like 2 days ago, 3 days ago. I've been getting some comments, lots of comments, more than usual. Even Adam Duff himself replied or said something about the video. So very interesting. Very touchy subject because I did talk about AI. And some of you do have quite a few questions, and some of you do ask for like clarification. So I'll be doing that in the following art podcast video. So I think I was kind of bothered before, like how often should I be doing these sorts of podcast types of episodes? I was thinking maybe bi-weekly or maybe weekly, but now that I've had just from that art podcast video I did recently talking about like AI, Adam Duff, and some like depression kind of sadness sort of thing. Because I did start out the video with like talking about what I was working on, like these brushes specifically, but also like how I got depressed, just scrolling to Twitter or X. And I think that the Olympics sort of triggered something in me to sort of reflect and stuff like that. And then I just started to talk about Adam Duff and the whole Ergo Josh AI thing. So yeah, anyway, I from that video I realized, you know what, I think I can do like an art podcast a week. I think that's a healthy amount of time for most of my subscribers to at least watch the video. Because if I post things too soon, like say twice a week for this kind of video, most people won't even like see it. Holy shit, what is this thing? This could be like a wing. This thing? It could be a wing. Let me just... Oh shit. Design. Yeah. So, in a few days, I'll be doing a follow-up video. And I think I want to make it kind of like a show where I talk about different things. Responding to comments. I can talk about some recent news maybe. It's more of a hangout session. I think it's where it's not just one topic. It's where it has multiple parts and stuff like that. I think that would be very interesting. And it's a way for me to kind of take a break from my normal videos. I can do like a recap for the week for my own progress because I do like seeing what I've done and seeing if I can improve on something. Because it's good to reflect at least once a week to see how far you've gone, if you're kind of stagnating or, you know what I mean? So... What is this thing? So let me just flip the canvas. If I zoom out, rotate it, what do I see here? Shit. Let's just keep going. Because sometimes for these kinds of paintings, they do tend to be a bit more abstract, but it's fun. But sometimes it is disappointing because you have no idea what's going to happen. And it can be cool because you do get surprised when things turn out great. But when it doesn't turn out as well, you're like, ugh, did I waste time? So this is more of a dry brush here. Oh, see that? Oh. The fuck is this? So for this session, I'll be limiting myself to just these brushes. So that's it. I wish maybe next time I'll try to add more colors. Because when you make a brush here, you can record like the actual colors from the original photo. For example, this one's blue, right? It doesn't matter what I select in this image. It'll always end up like the colors will come from the photo itself. So that's very interesting. So maybe you can make an entire palette of, say, basic colors, kind of like this one. Like a standard color set where you have like green, blue, yellow, stuff like that. Just a way to be able to start out the painting, because you can always change and adjust your colors later on, right? But I won't be doing that for this session, because maybe I'll try to do it in a different update. But right now, I'm just gonna focus on being a bit more. This one does have some gray in it because the secondary color is being used. If you see the 2x, that number, it means there are two colors involved. It just so happens this one, the way the brush is displayed, it's in white. I guess it's because there's less secondary color being used, so that's why it's just white. Unlike this one, you do see a bit more of that gray. Same thing for this guy. Right? So maybe that's why it's displayed as black. Let me just take this away. Oh, and yeah, when I click on these specific brushes, it takes like a half a second to load. Maybe it's because the image is big. Like the photo I used to make the brush. So, or maybe it's just a characteristic of how I made the brushes. I don't know. What is this thing? You know what? Let's go with it. You know, I did start out this painting with a couple of strokes, black and white, but I felt frustrated, so I added like red, and I think that helps because if you're struggling with, like, you need to find a way to entice yourself to paint, and for me, adding like a really bold color, like a striking color like red, really helps me sort of jump into the painting a little more. And if you check out the work of Alvaro Castañe, am I saying his name right? He's a watercolor artist. One of my he might be my favorite watercolor artist. He likes to really use deep reds and blacks in his work. So I think that's where I got it from. I think he's from Ecuador or something, like he's Latin American, I believe. So here we have a bit of a rake brush. I'm not sure if it's doing anything. It's kind of looking like an ink painting, but also like an oil painting at the same time. We'll keep pushing it. We'll try to find something here. Let's add some white. Oh shit. Or sometimes it looks like acrylic paint as well, right? Oh, look at, oh shit, chaos. Abstract. Fuck. Although because it's somewhat chaotic, the brushes, it's kind of hard to do the details. Well, not that much, but it's so I think we got a good vibe here going. So what should we do here? Should I do like, should I employ the grays? I feel like I'm going to do an Ava head again. Evangelion head, for those of you who haven't seen it, it's a good anime. It's still kind of very conceptual. It's kind of hard to tell like what's the story about. It's very conceptual, right? It makes you think. It sometimes confuses you, but I think it's a good show. And obviously the mech designs are pretty cool. So, and yeah, after this, I think I really do have to pump out the product review videos. I did a few talking about the major stuff. Like takeaways from this tablet, but okay, so how does the tablet actually feel? Well, I did mention how in a recording I did, audio recording, that you do hear a sound. Like it feels like if you can't see what I'm doing, or someone is if you can't see the person, you can. It almost sounds like they're sketching in their sketchbook. That's what it sounds like. Because it does have, I think they do have this simulated texture, paper texture, that they're trying to add. Not trying, they did add it. To sort of give that natural feel, which is cool. Although I'll be honest, I am used to drawing in like a glass. It's still a matte surface, but in a glass kind of way. So the pen nib sort of runs through or glides through the screen more smoothly. So I know some people don't like that. That's why they add like screen protectors that have that texture, that paper texture. I don't really mind. For example, I'm using the pen display I'm using. Not right now, but I do use it as my main monitor. Yes, it's matte, but it doesn't have like it has a matte feel the same way the XPPEN Deco Pro has a matte feel too, but it doesn't have texture. So I'm just used to that sort of a smooth effect. Right? Yeah. And it's been so long since I've used like traditional. Since I've done anything in traditional medium, so I feel like I'm going back, but it's also not, because obviously I'm doing digital art, but the way my hand feels or the way my pen feels, it feels like I'm doing things traditionally. So maybe that's the intention, to give more of that natural analog feel. Right. Oh shit, artist. What is this thing? Very conceptual, but I like it. Oh yeah, some of you have also mentioned that, or it's one guy, but it had a lot of likes. The music is apparently too repetitive. And I actually haven't considered that, because I tend to do videos in short form. Like most of my videos are like 10 to 30 minutes long. So most people don't really mind, but I never considered like how that song will sound on repeat for like 1-2 hours. So I think that's something that I made a few. I'll still be using that guy KaizanBlu. He's like my background artist. Well, he's not mine, like he's just making music for me. What I mean is he's my favorite musician when it comes to background music for my video content. Obviously, it's also because of it's free, it's copyright free, so it's great. But it also sounds good, and I like it. And I'm glad it's like copyright free. So I did pick out a few of the songs that I kind of liked, and I did mash them up. So for longer videos, I will be using like a playlist of different songs. So hopefully that helps. And maybe even for the shorter videos, I'll change the music once in a while. Kind of alternating between different songs. So yeah. And again, if you have any questions, excuse me, Because in that video, obviously there were quite a few discussions specifically on AI, because that's like the bulk of the video, the art podcast video I did. Don't worry, I'll be addressing it in my next art podcast episode. Because I feel like, it's more of a discussion episode, so I feel like it fits more if I address lots of things there. So yeah. And yeah, I think I did. Yeah, I think I mentioned this. Adam Duff did, comment on the video. That was nice. I feel like I'm one of the big boys now. And I think it was mostly positive. But then again, I felt like doing that or talking about it because I just wasn't satisfied, or I did not feel good about how that sort of reactionary thing you get in the art so-called community. Like the lynching, the mob sort of mentality. Now, I know that's gonna trigger some people. But I just don't understand how some people don't see it. Like, you can disagree, but thankfully most of the comments in let's say in my video, if they have disagreements, if you have disagreements, you're just kind of explaining stuff, and that's normal, by the way. So that's good. But like the way I just saw things were going, like it's so reactive, and I don't know. I felt like you were, even though I don't always disagree with the guy, like it's like dogpiling, is that the term? Like just dumping your freaking load on the like, damn. Anyway, so I'll discuss more of that in the next art podcast. I'll give it a few more days. Again, I'll be doing like a weekly art podcast thing, so I'll make that a part of my schedule, I guess. What is this? Concept. Okay, so yeah, it does feel like I actually did, because my other pen tablet is a Wacom Intuos Pro S, right? I've been using that for like years now. So I did put it on the side now and replaced it with this XPPEN Deco Pro Gen 2. It's solid. Although I still feel more comfortable. Like there are some types of artwork I feel more comfortable when using like a pen tablet, and others I feel more comfortable using a pen display. Like I've seen comments before saying that they don't feel a difference when doing like when it comes to like accuracy using a pen tablet versus a pen display, but I'm doubting that though. Like I think it's gonna be a bit easier to do the details when you have a pen display than say a pen tablet. Like these types of strokes, that's more like abstract, big strokes, very easy to do. Let's say you're doing details for like the face, drawing in the eyes and stuff like that, or lips. I think it's the pen display is the way to go. I'm not saying it's impossible to do it with the pen tablet. What I'm saying is it's just a bit easier on the pen display or on a pen display, right? For some brushes, you want to make sure that it fits all the way in the end, because you do get this thing where you see the spacing. I mean, it has its own charm, but you'll figure this out when you make your own. So I do suggest to try making your own. It's so fun. And oftentimes you figure out, or you come up with brushes that look cool via accident. Like you don't even, like you make this via trial and error. It's like making art as well. You don't really know what's going to happen sometimes. I mean, you can have an intention for things, but Yeah. By the way, one of you mentioned or you're concerned about me being depressed. I think I forgot the whole question, but I remember seeing that comment and I was like, I mean, I was, but don't worry about anything. I'm not like depressed. I think I was just depressed about because you know when you see people succeed who are ahead of you, you're like, oh God, like am I behind? Like what's going on here? Like am I gonna make it? So that's how I started the podcast, I think, and then Jesus freaking hell. What is this? I feel like I'm going beyond what's. Let me just take this brush again. Let's do this. Let's do this. Oh. Whoa, fuck. Artist. Fuck. So maybe I was making a mistake using small strokes when right now I just need to focus on bigger brush strokes, right? Whoa, design. So far, my favorite one is the oil dry one, oil dry 2. This one is more, you see more feathering in the edges, meaning it's not as, it's a bit more chaotic, right? But, you know, it does feel more energetic, but it's not as solid, right? It's great for like supplementary strokes, but so the dry ones and the solid one is obviously I mentioned or I named it that way because you know it's mostly like a solid shape, so easier to do details and fill up areas more quickly. Yeah, in the previous iteration of this painting, I think I was losing too much energy because I was focusing on the details. So I want to make sure that there is some kind of energy in this piece. And yeah, I also mentioned it in the podcast episode. I do like making the brush strokes. So I myself I'm not gonna use like AI, you know, like incorporating my journey and stuff like that because I do like the brush stroke type of thing. I like making marks, like just fucking like artist, you know. So it's kind of my stance on that portion, but it doesn't mean like because I know people who don't like they can't even look at an AI image and see something good in it. For example, like they can't see it as it is, like an image, right? If something is made by, for example, if you look at the chick and someone tells you, oh, you can't really like her, and you're like, why? Oh, because her tits are fake. Okay, like, does that mean she looks bad? I mean, yeah, there are some boob jobs that are like, ooh, you want to get those checked, but like, really, just because, oh, she got her lips done. She kind of cute though. I mean, I'm not saying it's good to do plastic surgery, right? But at least some of you can at least admit that, oh shit, she's kind of looking a little. It's kind of okay. Let's do a reverse thing. Let's see a guy, right? He looks good. Some girls say, oh, he's kind of hot, and then some guy goes, oh, he's using steroids. Okay. But he's hot to that chick and or to those women, so does that mean he's not hot? I mean, yeah, okay. Clearly he's taking some enhancement sort of drugs. Does that change the fact that, you know, their girls are feeling a little something something? You know, things are getting a little heated. Oh, but bro, like, you know what I mean? Like, I get it, it's like a principle thing, and some of you are just that principle, but I'm just not that guy, maybe. So maybe it's more of a difference in opinion. Because sometimes I hear, I see, like, because I watch, like, a lot of these videos concerning this topic, right? Let me just pick a different brush here. Flaky. Ew. Yeah, saying that, oh, like, why do you need to use AI reference? Like, there's so many other references online. Like, it's not like I chose to find purposely AI stuff. It's just like, for example, if you go to Pinterest or see ArtStation, sometimes you'll just see an image that's cool and you, or Twitter, something, or X, and sometimes you like, it's AI, but it's an interesting image. It makes you feel a sort of something, like an emotion, or maybe you like the color of it, or even the anatomy. Even though, yeah, it's not drawn, but seeing it as an image alone, like, really, you can't even use that. And sometimes I'm really not into the whole like soul thing. Yes, art is, it's an expression of the human, sure, expression of the human soul. But sometimes, like, the way people talk about it, like, as someone who likes making art, even if it's so random and weird, I like making brushstrokes because it's just fun to do, right? It's nice to drag paint around. Like, you elevate yourselves too much, I think. Is that bad to say? Like, it's like, oh, like the human soul, like nothing can ever, the human soul. And oh my god, like, you sound like one of this, like, socialite fucking people, bruv. It's kind of like this when you draw, like, some nice feet or some nice, uh, let's say some not safe for work art. Like, those people who sort of criticize that, oh, it's not real art. Like, why do you keep drawing the same things? Like, it lacks soul. You know those people? Like, they're so above you. Like, oh my god. Anyway. What am I doing here? You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna bring in some reference and see what happens. Or you know what? Fuck it. Let me just push this painting a little more. I'll try lassoing this thing. I'll copy it. Paste it. Move it down. Maybe I'll flip horizontal and see if I can, like, reuse some of that shape. Free transform. By the way, do you see that lag that happens? Like, when you move an anchor point, the image sort of lags. You don't see that in Photoshop. I mean, I know Clip Studio Paint is not really like a photo manipulating software, but if they could fix that, they would be so freaking amazing. Because it's so weird seeing it like lag. Like, it's fast in like the drawing part, painting, like it's not an issue at all, but manipulating photos, like, so much potential is being squandered. Looks interesting, right? Even if I have no idea what this is, it looks kind of interesting. And usually that's how I do my paintings. And it's not always logical, and it's not, you don't always get like good results, and it may not be the most reliable like method or consistent looking method, but it's fun. And if this is the way that you just work, then this is the way you just work. So for me, sometimes this is pretty much the only thing that kind of works for me sometimes. So I'm like, you know what, fuck it. If this is how I do it, then this is how I do it. Let's add a little, oh look, oh my god, look at the, oh. I do like the blues though, that I added earlier. Oh, I want this piece to be more like red. Oh, I'm not sure where I'm going with this, but I sort of see something in it, like it has potential. There it is again. I'm gonna add like the pointy thing, like the unicorn horn. Oh, there it is. Oh, look at the beauty of life. And in that podcast episode, I mentioned how there's a lot of like black and white stuff where if you say something, people will automatically say, oh, so what you're saying is, you know, those types. And I was critical of that kind of thing. And sorry to say something, I immediately saw the same thing in the comments. Not all, but some of you jumped the gun, bro. Like maybe the video was just too long, so you weren't able to see the whole video. Because it is a long episode, like 2 hours, so I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. But for example, criticizing the behavior of some artists. For example, right now, if I say, it doesn't mean I'm against like rights or anything. Like people immediately jump to that thing, you know? Like, oh, so you don't care about like, I forgot how they put it, but I was like, what? You repeated the very same thing that I was critical about. Come on, guys. Like, is this either or? I give a good example. Like, you know how with the whole like issue in the Middle East, like if you're sympathetic, I'll say this, to the poorer side, the one that doesn't have any, or it doesn't have as much support. They say you support errorism, you know what I mean? And I'm like, really? Is that how you took it? Like, come on. Anyway, so I'm very excited. Not very. I'm actually kind of ugh. But I will be discussing it definitely, no doubt, in my upcoming podcast episode. So right now, I think I'm gonna, because it's been like 2 days since I've done a this one looks like Zaku. Someone mentioned that because in Gundam, the bad guy mech, I'm sorry if I don't know the right term for this, but the bad guy mech, the one that's usually green with the one eye, that's Zaku or Zagu something, Zaku. And I'm like, oh, okay. I do know there's a red one, a red Zagu. You know what? Oh shit, we'll do that. There's an opening here, right? Or an opening slate for the eyes. And then there's like what's the color of the eye? Maybe purple or pink or something? Oh shit, look at that. If you zoom out, you know what the fuck it is, right? I wish I knew more about Gundam. Like, there's so many like anime adaptations, right? And it's just so confusing sometimes. Like, where should I begin? Where should I end? You know? I do like the recent one, the film. Whereas, let me just find the wait, solid. Okay. It's a film. The one with it looks so cinematic. Gundam Hathaway. Oh, I loved it. And it was a very good looking film because it was very like, it wasn't just about fighting. I mean, the fights were nice, but it had like a very cinematic thing. Like you were sort of like an observer, you know, and that was so cool. And the POVs, the point of views was just, it's not like the other Gundam films. It wasn't like, I'm not saying the other ones are bad, but the focus was just different. The style, the energy of it was very different. And obviously the chick is kind of hot, you know, the blonde chick. Oh god. I mean, yeah, she is kind of a prostitute, but eh. And I think Hathaway he be simping a little bit, right? Boys be boys. Anyway, how is the pointy thing though? I feel like I'm making it too thick. Oh shit. Let me just, I do like this part right here. It could be like an extra wing. Right? We'll try the rake, thick rake, just to kind of erase stuff. Oh shit, there is a painting underneath. Okay, that's why it was. Sorry. My bad. Shit, 40 minutes. Come on. Anyway. Should I use reference? Come on. Let me just. I'll be searching something on the side. I want some Zaku sort of thing. Zaku. Let me just search for it. Zaku. Hopefully I'm saying it right. Zaku. Z-A-Q-K-U. Zaku. Oh, yeah. Got it. So I'm using... I don't think you can see it because the recording software is fixed on to Clip Studio Paint. Damn. Very interesting design. Yeah, and I want to be able to see the head because sometimes when you see like full figure images, the head is too small for me to see like the details, the relevant details anyway. And this one seems okay. Oh, it has like a mask thing. So let me just open up the image new tab. Oh, okay. Although it's a green, it's not red, but you know. Oh, so the thing in the head is actually kind of thin. And this part right here is a gas mask, or it looks like a gas mask. So I'm gonna use oil dry number 1. So this guy, I'm gonna make you... I can't really see the arm details here, but... Shit. We'll use this. Oh, I do see some lag. Maybe the brush is becoming a little too big. But yeah, but basically that. Let me just... So there's some kind of armor here. Let me just work on the face a bit. And a lot of the mechs do look angry, like the way they shape, like the opening of the eyes. They look angry. So in a way, it looks a bit more badass that way. So I approve. So we'll add some grays here, right? And the head is a bit more round. The only image I have is like a front view, so I'm struggling to sort of... Look at that. I do like how some of the grays are showing. It looks more like natural, like an oil painting. Less inkish and more oil painting-ish. Let's just remove this. Look at that. Oh. Yeah, I only have a front view. I don't like it. I want to be able to see like the full thing. Fuck. Sorry. By the way, when I say F too many times or any kind of curse word... Oh, I found a good reference photo. Sorry. I get limited ad revenue. So, sorry. I'll try to limit the curse words I use. But it's so fun, you know, just being able to say F. Like, ugh. You just feel so powerful when you say like, oh, F you, bro. F. Easy. Right? It looks like it's being mixed. Well, some of you have said that it's very similar to using a mixer brush tool in Photoshop. No, yeah, the look, yes, but you have to have paint beforehand to be able to start mixing it. Here, you can just sort of start painting it. So the way the brushes work or this effect works is different from Photoshop. It looks similar, sure, but the way it's done, like you can't paint with it. Like you have to paint over a paint when using the mixer brush. Although I will agree it is similar, sure, but it's just not the same. Right? Okay, so we do have like a red thing here. Right, so we have that. So we'll just drag the paint here. This is like the gas thing. We'll use a dark red, and it has like that thing. Oh, it's lagging a little bit. Oh, sorry. So for those of you who are into Gundam, you can probably see it now. Oh shit, like, I see it, bro. I see it. It's Zaku. Oh. Let me use the solid one to just be... Okay. So the brush feels good, or the pen feels good on the stylus. I am using the felt nib. So I just feel like the texture feels a bit more, or it just feels better for me when I use that compared to, say, the standard one, the standard nib that comes with the stylus pen. Oh, okay. So it's a bit more perpendicular? Or, is it Zagu? Or Zaku? I'll stop in the 1 hour mark, so... I feel like I need to find a different reference photo because, oh shit, is this AI? That would be so funny if my reference photo was actually AI. I don't think so. I think it's a model, a 3D... Oh, like an actual, like, physical model. Imagine the comments saying, oh shit, like this, like DAVIII has given up, like he's not a real artist. And I see those types of comments like, oh, he's not a real artist. Like, oh my god. I discussed more about it in the previous podcast, but I guess people didn't watch the full episode about how that kind of comments or those kinds of comments are so freaking annoying. Oh, he's not a real artist. And I prefer it if it were more perpendicular or more out. Let's reverse this. Oh, he's not a real artist. Right? Because, my art has way more soul than yours. Like, ugh. Jesus. And, oh, I had no idea DAVIII wasn't fighting for our rights. And, jeez. Really, guys? Come on. By the way, I wasn't shitting on people who were criticizing AI. I was criticizing people who criticized AI who were doing nothing. So it doesn't make sense that you would mention people who were, who were still doing their art but had like negative opinions or were critical of AI art or of AI anything. Like they're not the people I'm referring to, And it's just sad. Like you repeated the same thing I was annoyed about. Is oh, does that mean I can't say anything? That kind of like black and white thing. Oh, so what you're saying is you hate. Jesus fucking. Anyway, you know what? I'm gonna hold my tongue here and just keep drawing, and I'll wait for the next for the upcoming podcast episode because I think I can break things down a bit more and talk about like your comments and such in more detail. So, yep, wait for that episode. And when I posted the video, I did lose a few subs in the beginning, but it did jump up somehow. Thankfully, but it's so interesting seeing like the oh, this guy supports. Oh my god. Like I'm not a fan of Ergo Josh, by the way. As I've mentioned multiple times. And I think I really responded because it was really more about Adam Duff and kind of like the response he was getting, like the oh my god. The art community. Oh, another one has fallen. Those types of, oh my Jesus. Really? Like really? Oh, does that mean you can't be critical? I think I may get some flack for this, but comprehension skills, aside from the lack of business skills artists do not have, comprehension skills is also something that's like, I get it, we're emotional, but god damn it. And just to reiterate, I also don't like, I mentioned this already, but in the past episode, art podcast, but shitting on like, oh, you're not a real artist because like you do YouTube, like you do content. Oh, so like the limited thinking, I recommend you watch the full episode or skip to the Adam Duff or AI part, because that's where I discuss like my take on it, on that whole thing. You know how boomers or people say that art is not a real job? Guess what some artists are doing now? Oh, it's not real art because like if you have any kind of business mind and you know what sells and you kind of adapt to that and you try to make it part of your own work. Like you're not a real, like are we supposed to be poor now? Are we supposed to be working the same kinds of jobs? Like you have to be a real artist, apparently you have to work in a studio. Like it's so like limited. Work in a studio, or you sell your art in some kind of gallery, or you sell prints. Like it has to be this physical thing. For example, there are artists out there who make art via talking about art. Oh, they're not a real artist. I mean, they still paint. It just so happens like they're very good at in explaining their philosophy, like how they, they're very good storytellers, and that's how they make money. They generate revenue via say ads, right? They're just good storytellers, but they still paint. Like their base is still painting, but it just so happens they learned how to monetize their voice for their painting. But I guess that's not real artistry because, like, are you gonna shame the guy for being fucking smart? Like, fuck you. Sorry for the cursing. You know what I mean? Like nothing has changed. Like we're still behind. Well, not me. Because at least I'm being honest. Like, you know what? If content creation is gonna make me money and it's also something that fits with my lifestyle, then I'm gonna go for it. But it's this people who like, oh, it's not real, or like, oh, okay, kayo na, or you already. That's what it means. You know, if you wanna keep that title, that's why my recommendation for you people is to let people keep their labels, because I think that's something that people really fight over. Just let them keep it. And if they want to be the real ones, then just let them be the real ones. Unlike, you know, maybe you're one of the real ones too. Yeah. For me, I guess I'm just one of the fake ones. You know, the money chasers, right? Oh, you're just chasing the money, bro. Like, I want to be able to make money off of my art. I don't want to, because if I want to improve on art, I have to be doing it almost every day. And the best way to do that for me, I figured from my own life, is to make it a part of my income, right? If my livelihood is dependent on my skill and my development, then I have no choice but to develop. So essentially, my practice, my painting, my daily painting, drawing, sketching, is tied to like my livelihood, also my general like for the thing, but also like the more it's attached to different areas of my life, the more likely I am to pursue it. That's my mentality, you know? But I guess I'm not a real artist. You know those women who like to draw like cute anime stuff in their sketchbook and post videos on the internet, on YouTube, and they make money off of that? They're not a real artist because, you know, they don't actually sell pages from the sketchbook. They just talk about their art. They talk about their process, you know. They're fake, actually. So to all those people, you're fake. And the reason why I point out women is because it's mostly women who do that. And I've noticed, sorry to say, I'm not saying it's toxic masculinity, because I'm not one of those, ugh, there it is again, that overused freaking word. But I think when women talk, or when women do things, like they don't really care as much about the purity of shit. You know? Like, how often, when it comes to this AI stuff, sure, women have their concerns, but how many are so like uber aggressive about it? Like, oh my, that's not real. That's not real art. Oh my god, like you're, you know what I mean? Like they just do their shit. I mean, they have their concerns, but they're not stopping, you know? Like they don't give a fuck. And it's sad, I don't really see it in the male side. I do see it sometimes, but in YouTube, anyway, like the female power is just too strong. And it's kind of, I feel like kind of ashamed. Like what are the boys doing? You know, complaining about AI art again. Again, you can complain about AI art, but you still have to be doing your thing, you know? My criticism is mainly on people who are so uber reactive to the point that they don't even do anything. That's who my target criticism is focused on. But the problem is when I say this, now people who are like, now you're including everyone. Oh, so anyone who criticizes AI art is now like a, you know what I mean? You keep expanding shit. Sorry. You keep expanding stuff to like the extremes, you know? Even if I'm talking about a specific group, it starts to become this big thing. Also, you know what I mean? I keep repeating myself here, but it's just like, oh my god. Fucking Christ. Anyway. So I have like 1 minute left to do this thing. So let me just add this one. Okay, I'm satisfied with that. Oh, I guess it's not real art because I'm not making money via this specific painting. You know, I'm posting a YouTube video on it, you know, showing my time lapse. And because I make ad revenue from this video, I guess that's not real art. You know, this whole thing, it's fake. It's fake. It's practically AI at this point. You know those types? Okay. You know, if you want to be a real artist, go to a gallery, sell your paintings there, or you work in a AAA studio game, sort of a game studio, concept art studio, or work in Hollywood. You know, be able to work in that film industry, and once you're there, you know, congrats, because you are something that I'm not, and that's a real artist. I feel like I'm overdoing it, and you kind of got the point, but it's just so nice having to repeat the same thing. So hopefully this doesn't bother you too much, you know, this whole thing, because it's so fake, right? It's like not even real, you know. Like, you made money out of art via videos? Like, ugh, disgusting. Fake. Turns out Davi's a faker. Not real. I'll say this, just to make things quick. As artists, we need to learn how to find ways to make money and be more business minded, right? Be more smart. Like, we're so creative when it comes to our maybe brushstrokes, like the techniques we use. But the moment we have to make money, like, why are we so outdated? We sound like boomers. You know, those people who say, oh, it's not a real job. You know, art is not a real job. So we already have those people. So now we have the, oh, it's not real art. Like, you're not really a real professional artist because you're on YouTube. You're on Twitter. You sell feet pictures of these anime fucking. Okay. Be poor. Is that mean? Is that mean? If it is mean, then, you know, I'll say this. If you want to make money off of art, do what you have to do. Do what works for you, right? Don't listen to these purists, right? Oh, it's not real art. He's a faker. He's a freaking faker. You know? I think I should learn how to say F more than the actual word. F that, right? Oh. It looks kind of like Zaku. I did want to make the shoulders big, so that's kind of cool. Although the chest area, I'm not really sure about it. It's like, I do know there's like a block thing here. You know what? I'm over an hour, like 2 minutes over, but I'm gonna keep going. And you know what? For the podcast, I do like the 2-hour time. Like, it feels good. If I'm gonna do one episode a week, I think 2 hours is like a good, like more than 1 hour at least. 2 hours more or less. It's a good amount of time to do that thing. So there's like a block here separating the shoulder. Kind of like this. Right? Oh, artist. Or am I? Nah. I'm just a content creator, unlike... Dave, we get it. We get it. You know, it's fun though, you know, having to talk about this, you know. The fakers, here we are. You know. It's kind of like those people who say, oh, digital art is not real art. Should I make my own paint? Should I use my own fingers to, like, should I not use a brush or something? You know, this kind of purity kind of shit is like a bit much. My recommendation is to tune out the noise and do what you have to do to reach your dreams, right? And yeah. Because this wasn't available like years ago, you know? Like, obviously because the internet wasn't even as popular. It wasn't there to begin with, right? So it's just sad seeing this kind of mentality. And sometimes I see comments like, oh, like we can't all be content creators. Well, no shit. dummy. it The thing about this thing is that it's already a new avenue. It's kind of like, think about this. Can everyone be a doctor? Can everyone be a musician? Can anyone be an engineer? Can anyone be a nurse? Well, the answer is no. Right? It's its own field. Like, you have to do your own study. You have to go through that process. Like, art is the same thing, but the thing is, now we have our own avenue. It doesn't mean you can just like jump in and start making money. You can't just jump in and be a doctor, right? Like, you have to go to school, you have to get experience, right? So for this art thing, like if I do content, like I have to work hard to be one of the big ones, right? To make a legitimate living off of this thing online. You know, I want to make money online. That's my thing. And I want to work from home, right? But I can't make something that's sustainable, that big, if I just jump in and just expect things to happen. I have to work just as hard as any doctor, engineer. Do you follow? Like, it's a legitimate field now that you actually have to work towards too. You know, you have to learn a bit about marketing, about business, obviously improving your own art skills, because, you know, the better your artwork is, people will like your work and follow you, right? Like, we have our own field now. It's an established area in society, right? You know, there are Twitch streamers who game all day. Like, I don't really game as much. Well, not at all, actually. But, you know, some of them do make money. Imagine if someone says, well, not everyone can be a Twitch streamer. Well, no shite. No shite. Do you see the amount of hours they have to spend streaming? Not everyone can be that thing. But guess what? They've found their thing. They've found their calling. They found their way or their talents, and they're making use of it. They found a way. This is my way. What's your way? Oh, AI, bro. Like, AI is taking all of our jobs. Okay, keep waiting for Carla Ortiz to save to save you. I'm not saying you can't fight for more rights, more, you know, whatever regulation, but as that's happening, what are you doing? That's my point. It doesn't mean you can't do all of those other things. It's just I'm getting angry again. You know? Like, sorry, I'm seeing a lot of content now. It's just bashing AI, and I see less artists and more anti-AI people. Ooh, is that painful? And even the guys who support, the big ones, it's sad. They used to start making, or they used to make art, but now they're just, oh, look at this toxic artist, or look at this TikTok video. And I'm like, you will criticize AI art, but not these people? You know? You know, drama is good once in a while, but, you know, it's just sad. Now, you don't have to listen to me, by the way, because, you know, again, I am a content creator and I'm not an artist like the rest of these people. And yeah, I do plan to make money online and not like in a AAA studio. I don't plan on selling my paintings in a gallery. So, you know, I'm not like the rest of you pure people. You know, I've been tainted. You know, my body count is 50,000 at this point. So, anyway, hopefully you got my point. Some of you get it. Thankfully, in the comments I've seen, some of you get it. Like, you can be critical of something, but don't tell me the energy of like, is not there. It's like taking over everything at this point. And again, comprehension skills. I've mentioned it multiple times in this video and in my last podcast episode. If I say I like apples, it doesn't mean I despise oranges. Huh? Let's say I like noodles. It doesn't mean I don't like rice. I just like noodles. You know, me saying I like noodles, it doesn't mean it's an admission of my dislike for something else. Oh, I like 2D art. Does that mean I hate 3D? Jesus. So what you're saying is My God. Christ. Anyway. For example, right now, even though like I'm painting, I'm doing something, right? I think this is much more healthy than just the energy of some of these people. Like energy wise, like what do you feel when you listen to this kind of content? Not this, but the kind of content where it's all just like, even okay, valid criticism, fine, but do you feel like you want to draw after that? Now, obviously, we all have different opinions, but for me, I feel like I'm drained. Like, ugh. Like, ugh. You know, like, ugh. I feel like I've been cummed on. Non-consensual. Just a random guy, a random homeless person running around. Just, ugh. And now it's in my freaking hand. And, ugh, Jesus. Get away from me. But then again, what do I know? You know, I am a fake artist, right? It just pissed me off when people kind of criticized Adam Duff, you know. Like, he's not a real... You could have just disagreed with the guy, but now you're like questioning his... Oh, well, it makes sense why he would say that. Like, he's not one of us. He's not like a real artist. He's like a content creator, you know what I mean? Right? He's a fakester. He's a fakester. Jesus. Anyway. And even, I think I got a few, not many, thankfully, but I did get like people outside of my typical audience. I guess they found the video because I did write Adam Duff's name in the title, right? So obviously I'm not surprised. I did expect this to happen. But now I got, I think not many, like maybe one or something. I don't know, but I can't recall it, but the energy was, it had the same, like, oh, you're not a real artist. You're not one of us. You know, you support AI now. Clearly you don't support our right. Like, is that what I said? Come on. It grinds my gears when people do that. Like, put words in your mouth. Right? No consent. Blah, 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 blah. Just effing your freaking... Anyway. I think I ruined the eye a bit more. Jeez. Fuck. So anyway, that's it for this. Let me just rotate this thing. I think it looks better if you like crop it this way. I'm not even sure. Yeah, let me just fix the eye a bit. Maybe I should title this video "How a Non-Artist," how a non-artist paints, because you know maybe that won't trigger people. I'm kidding, I'm kidding. I'm just having fun here, right? As a non-content creator. Sorry, a non-artist content creator guy. I guess I'm not real. Yeah, that's my advice. Let them keep the labels and keep doing your thing. Oh, you don't get it, bro. You're not one of us. Well, shit. It is what it is then. It's over. I guess it's over. Okay, it's just I'm trying to use reference, but I feel like I'm tired now. And I think you need to do a bunch of these paintings to know like how far, like you need to know yourself, right? So for me, I know I kind of max out at around 2 hours. Like 3 hours is like my max. 1 hour is sort of my average. Like even on my bad days, I can do like an hour. So that's sort of my average. So do enough of these paintings to know what your actual time is. Time meaning like the time you're comfortable with painting or drawing or making art. Because it helps you like schedule things. There you go. I think I'll stop here. So we have Zaku. Oh, sorry, Zaku. From Gundam. Let me just save this thing. So that's it for this, I guess. Oh shit, where will I put this? In the art process or in the product review? Did I actually review the tablet? Maybe. Or maybe I'll put this in the art process and then I'll say... I'll mention the XP pen. Okay, I can do that. Because I don't know. Fuck it. You know what? Yeah, I'll put this in the art process series, and then maybe I can include like a time lapse of this and add that to the background of one of my product reviews. Right? Yeah, because it makes sense that way. So that's it for this art process. Again, I'm already setting the thing. It's gonna be in the art process series. So thank you for listening. Thank you for listening to the art process series. If you have any questions, I did do a few recordings of my takes on this tablet, the XPPEN Deco Pro Gen 2. So I have like 4 recordings, an unboxing, and 3 others about a specific topic. If there are any kind of questions, maybe I can talk about it, and add to that sort of a product review series. But there's that. And again, for the podcast stuff, I haven't responded to any of them because I will be doing, because it's better to just do it in like a video, and I'll do like a response. I'll do a section on responding to comments, something like that, where I can go through like general themes mentioned in the comments, and I can also talk about like the new topic for that specific episode. So in a few days, I'll be responding to all of them. Oh well, most of them anyway. Or at least the general like sort of questions or concerns. And yeah. So as a non-artist, as a content creator, right? Because I don't want to say artist. I'm kidding, by the way. I'm just, milking the issue here. Yeah, I'll see you in the next episode, and yeah, bye. Bye.